And we are back, and of course, I've got a very interesting guest and studio. But before I introduce the guest, you know, in Zimbabwe, we have got 16 languages. 16 languages. How many languages are you acquainted with? I know you know Shona. I know Ndebele. There is English and. So, of course, we've got a very interesting studio, and the guest, that's Batsirayi Freddy, who is the founder and creative director of Ndoto Kids and EdTech company dedicated to promoting African languages and cultural heritage through engaging children's content. Welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Tafar.
Right. So, you mentioned to me off air that we've got 16 official languages that we have in Zimbabwe, but I think it's a number that maybe many do not, resonate with, because I myself, it's only the three of the three I speak to.
You speak to, yeah.
Right. So let's get straight into it. Now, what is Ndoto Kids all about, and what inspired you to start this project?
So Ndoto Kids, as you mentioned earlier on, we are an edtech company, a Pan-African company, but headquartered in Hara in Zimbabwe.
Fantastic.
We create tools that edutainment tools for kids in the ECD space to preserve African languages and cultures.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. So
the inspiration you asked.
The inspiration. So that's what. So that's the inspiration. And where do you intend to take it to? Of course, you're starting in Zimbabwe, but are you only covering, do you want to only cover the 16 languages in Zimbabwe, or you want to cover the African languages, Africa as a whole? We have quite a lot of languages in Africa.
Quite a lot of languages.
A lot of languages in Nigeria as a country on its own. I think it's what, over five what? Yeah. Different languages
that they have,
that's a headache on its own. But we love the diversity.
Believe me, we face that because we now have to cover like all of those languages. So the dream is to cover all African languages. The inspiration came from the idea that African languages are dying down slowly. You find that a lot of the people perceive, speaking English or French or all the European languages as, the bar of what intelligence is. And they are shunning most of our local languages. So that was part of the inspiration. I'm an uncle. I have nieces and nephews. And, conversing with them in English, sometimes you're wondering, like, Zimbabwe, or what,
Hi, uncle.
Hi, uncle. Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah.
There we go.
But I think that's where the inspiration was. But the dream is to cover the whole continent. We're very much Pan-African. I'm very passionate about the continent. Not only just the languages, but the diverse cultures that we have, the richness of it, the clothes, everything. So that's our dream, to just cover the whole continent. Right. But we started off at home, we start off at home first.
Of course.
Yeah.
Home is all, we always start from home. And that initiative is headquartered in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
And tell me more about I heard there's a book, Nyaya Dzevana. That book series and its objectives. Tell me more about that.
So Nyaya Dzevana started off as Nyambo Dzevana.
Okay.
It was a digital project that we started off under the DAS Collective program from Zimbabwe German Society. We created animated books that are online for kids in the ECD space, and then we decided, let's put them into physical format, and that's when Culture Fund stepped in, supported by the European delegation for the European Union delegation to Zimbabwe. They managed to get us to print out the books, the stories, and help them distribute them around to different libraries and institutions that we deemed that they needed the books donated.
Right.
Yeah. So there are 3 stories. One of them is Potsi Neshamwari. Right.
Oh, you actually got the books.
I've got the books. Potsi Neshamwari. And then we have Marwei and Shichemo Chashumo.
Okay.
Right. All of these are printed in Shona and Ndebele. So at Ndoto Kids we have 3 languages: Shona, Ndebele, and Swahili. So Shona and Ndebele because it's home. Swahili because it's spoken the most on the continent, and because also in your African Union said, we need to make this the continent language. So that's what the book series was all about. The stories touch on adventure as kids, I'm very nostalgic about, you know, how I grew up. You know, kubuda panza mshiru tamba neshamwari dzenyu, you know, tamba maflower rakaraka and all of that. So that's posting chamwari. And then chichemo cha shumo, it's just to help out kids to understand the loss of a parent, but in a more sweet and, you know, less harsh way. And then Marway touches on, you know, children's rights, children that have grown in abusive household, and then just educating kids on, you know, gain courage, just to teach kids to gain courage, even if you're in such a dire situation.
Such a dire situation.
Yeah.
Now, these books, what's the age groups that you're targeting, and what can that age group look to benefit from the books?
So we work mainly with the ECD space. We're looking at from about 0 to about 7 years. And the benefits from it is literally just immersing themselves in the languages. You know, there's a lot of material that kids are reading or watching, and none of them are in your local languages. And our hope and the objective with this is to, you know, pass down the legacy, have generations that are going to come through to that are going to come after us to, you know, have tools that they can use to just preserve the languages and, you know, immerse themselves in it.
Right. Now, how do you think Nyadzamana will help promote cultural heritage and African languages among young readers?
So most of the things that most of the products that we have touch on representation. The kids, in the stories that they read. Yes, there's Cocomelon, yes, there's Anna Sesame Street and all of that, but can they relate to it? Are the scenery in the books, the illustrations, are they, you know, an environment that they can, you know, relate to? So the more they read the books, the more they understand where they come from, the more they are confident in who they are. Because also language and culture it's an identity.
Right.
And the more the kid has, the more the children have, you know, that identity, the more confident they are. So,
right.
Yeah, that's our hope.
And how can parents, educators, and institutions support Ndoto Kids initiative and promote literacy in African languages?
So I think the one thing that we encourage is teaching the children how to be proud in their languages, in who they are. I think most of the cases you hear of, you know, ECD schools are now, you know, advertising, say, no, your child will speak with a twang if you come to us with, you know, they will know how to speak English. I encourage parents and other educators to also treat the same, with the same focus to the you know, local languages, vernacular languages. And I think that there is the first place to start off, just you know, being proud in those languages. And then in terms of just support is, you know, engage with the material. We are online. We now have books. We have hopes to create a TV show. We have hopes. We're also working on a nursery song album. So
nice, interesting.
Like local, like original songs. So all of those tools, and it's not only just Ndoto Kids. There's a lot of other people who are within our community that are also fighting the same battle that we are fighting. I think last week Saturday I was at the Let Them Trust festival, where kids were having, you know, they were performing traditional dances, netembo, acting, and all of that. Just being there, supporting such spaces is amazing.
Right. Last question I'll ask you is, where can our audiences find more information about Ndoto Kids, and how can they stay updated on your projects and initiatives? Like maybe your socials, where they can get access to you.
Sure,
you
definitely.
can just answer that quickly, because we're running out of time.
Sorry. You can get us on Ndoto Kids on all social channels, and you can also just look us up on our website, which is Ndoto Kids at ndotokids.com, NDOTO kids.com, and then our YouTube as well. We have a lot of other material on there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, of course, you're hearing it for yourself. I mean, this is the conversation that we're having, and it's very, very important to be acquainted with our languages, our 16 languages that we have, that we pride ourselves in. I don't know, do you know how to say goodbye in Swahili?
Yo, I forgot, but I knew it. But yeah.
So I'll come back. He's going to tell me off air how to say goodbye in Swahili. But otherwise, we've come to, of course, thank you so much, Brian, for coming to the show.
Thank you,
and all the best with your initiative. And here's to hoping that you're going to encompass the entirety of Africa as a continent. And as we pride ourselves in our culture and, of course, our languages. But that is a conversation that we're having right here on Morning Rush.